Nick Fox here, sitting with one of my absolute favorites, Nick Sterling.
Heyo.
A-Team exclusive, and I want to get to know you a bit better. They want to get to know you a bit better.
You know me better than anyone here.
I know, I do. But I wanna grill you a little bit.
Grill me.
So the first question is, why did you get into porn?
Why did I get into porn? Well, you wanted candid, so.
Yeah, don't listen to Chris. Be honest.
Yeah, be honest. I wanna hear about you.
When I was a baby, I was abandoned by the Duchess and the Duke. No. Why did I get into porn? My parents urged me to go to college, and I did. But I didn't have a passion for it. There was this magazine called XY Magazine, and it was a young adult to kind of adolescent, not pornographic, but sort of, sexual innuendo, but not sexually explicit. It was, I don't know, it was a young gay man's magazine for, teenagers to early 20s. And I was 18, I was a freshman in college, and there was this photo spread in XY Magazine. And it was of this teenage bodybuilder. I don't know if he was 16 or 17 or 18 or 19, I don't know. But he was like, just, like 5% body fat and young and lifting weights on some rocky beach, and I don't know fucking where. And there was like an 8-page photo spread. And I remember cutting out this photo spread and pasting like all 8 or 9 pages up all over my freshman dorm room wall. And through the 4 years of college, I went through the motions. I got a degree in literature. I minored in economics. But there was like no career that I really wanted to do. There was no profession that called to me. I didn't know what the fuck to do when I got out of college. But the thing that I was passionate about was that fucking XY photo spread and those photos that I put on my freshman dorm room wall. And I just had this yearning to be that. To be, I don't know, sexy and, I don't know.
Admired,
adored. Tiny little sex god. I don't know. And I left college and I tried to get a job at a shopping mall in Connecticut as a manager in training for Hollister, which was fucking awful. It was terrible. And I ran away and I went to Florida and I came back and I tried a bunch of different things. And I tried porn for a little while for a little tiny company, Pompano Beach, and I stopped after half a year because I didn't have any other means to support myself. And I was like, I need other ways to support myself besides this. I can't rely on this because this won't last forever. So I did, and then I was lost again, and I got different jobs, and I worked for a tax office, and I sold expensive fabric in the design and decorating building, and I learned to teach yoga, and I went to Costa Rica, and I came back, and when I was meditating in Costa Rica and trying to figure out exactly what I really wanted to do, it came back to me that I actually really wanted to do porn. I didn't, wasn't just doing it because I could. And I met Adam Killian on Fire Island at the Pines party. And we were go-go dancing together. And I'd never really met anybody who was confident and proud about what they did in this particular industry and was not ashamed about it and didn't hide it and just kind of like lived in the open. And after, living in Costa Rica and coming to that conclusion and meeting somebody like him, I gave it another go. And I started at Randy Blue, and I did that for a few years, and I took a break. And then you sent me a text and was like, hey, you want to work for Falcon? It's like, only since I was a teenager. So,
Yeah.
That kind of answered the question.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit?
I'd say so.
Bit.
Yeah, I'm glad. I saw that you took a little break, and I wanted to get you back.
I'm glad you did.
So Nick, what was your first scene like?
My first scene for Randy Blue was pretty fun. It was with Brett Swanson, who was like one of the only Randy Blue models I knew, and he was super cute. And he looks like this little gay twink. But I get to Studio City in LA, and there's this like straight punk little Chicago hetero boy with this attitude, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? But, you know, it was my first foray into semi-professional porn. And it went pretty well.
So you went from Pro-Am at Randy Blue to big studio with us here at Falcon Studios Group and big outdoor shoots like this.
Huzzah!
What do you prefer? I mean, shooting on locations like this don't happen very often.
No, I love shooting on location. It's one of the reasons I wanted to work for a bigger company. I got tired of shooting in Randy's house every day.
You can only shoot on the bed so many times.
Until you have to replace the bed.
Which is actually in my house right now. So, what do you like best about location shoots?
Being on location.
Good answer.
I love traveling. Traveling is amazing. Shooting in the studio is fine, but you know, it's the same. I mean, you change the studio every time, but I love to travel. I love seeing new places. It's the reason why I live the lifestyle I live, is to be able to do that whenever possible instead of, you know, sitting around an office every day.
So, like the photos you talked about earlier of this guy that you put on your wall, so when you're hitting these locations, like we're filming out here on this beautiful ranch, you've done beautiful photo shoots on speedboats and really out there places. Is that what's making you keep going? That's what you envisioned when you wanted to start this?
I didn't really envision anything when I wanted to start it. It was all just kind of pell-mell, fly by the seat of your pants. I didn't actually realize that, you know, the photo shoot on the photos on my freshman dorm room wall coordinated to any of this until a few years ago. When I stopped to think about it, it seemed surreal for a moment. And then it just kind of goes back to being old hat. But it's cool. I got to shoot in a blacksmith forge today for my glamour shots, which, you know, is one of those buildings which has been here for a century and a few decades, which is pretty cool.
That's an awesome answer.
Nice.
Love my peanut butter.
So you've shot with a ton of guys, a bunch of different guys, from Pro-Am to what you're doing now. What's your personal type of guy?
That's a loaded question. You can't ask me that.
That's totally a loaded question.
And you can't show this to the viewers, because the viewers want me to say, you know, the type of person that they are. Because if I say anything other than the type of person that the viewers, they're going to feel rejected. This is not a good question for the marketing of your models, your videos, and the company here. So I'm not going to answer it.
Okay, next question.
All right.
It's true.
So
I could say young and athletic guys and old and hairy guys would be ostracized. I could say old and hairy guys and young guys would be ostracized. I've got a mouthful of peanut butter now. It's
sure
the
do.
truth, though.
you sure do.
What's the next question?
So the next question is there anything on set that you haven't gotten to done yet that you want to do?
One of the grips.
One of the grips. Which one?
Not saying.
What does he look like?
Next question.
Right. Do you think there's a lot of pressure put on you guys as porn stars and performers to look a certain way?
Oh, it's awful. I hate it. It's terrible. Body dysmorphia has I'm not projecting. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and project more. It's awful. It's terrible. My body dysmorphia has been taken to awful proportions. I do look good. I know I look good. When I'm not on set, I'm happy with the way I look, and I feel good about the shape that my body is in. Until I get on set with Ryan fucking Rose. And then I don't feel so good. But, you know, you gave me a piece of advice. Nobody should compare themselves to Ryan Rose. But it's not just that. It's those Calvin Klein underwear box cover abs. And there is that pressure to kind of look that certain way. And the camera does add 20 pounds. And it is obnoxious because I like drinking margaritas, and I like eating pizza, and I like eating ice cream. And it's difficult to do those things and look the way that people imagine you should be. Or, you know, you sit online on your webcam at home and people insult you about being fat. It's fucked up. That's why I don't webcam anymore. It does create a difficult image, but, you know, it's part of the gig.
So how do you deal with it?
I don't want to watch fat porn stars.
So does it make you work harder? Do you just...
I suppose that's a good point, too. It does make me work harder, and if I didn't have something that was forcing me to, you know, work towards a certain goal, I probably would, like, let myself end up like my father.
But at the end of the day, you working hard and looking amazing, does that make you feel happy?
Not really, no. You want me to elaborate on that? My unhappiness has levels.
No, I want you to elaborate on your
It has
happiness.
depth and it has history.
But you're not pleased with the way you look? I mean, you look incredible.
I'm pleased that I have, you know, the kind of, I don't know, misfit compilation, I don't know, catacorner junction between, you know, modeling and directing and freelancing and all the things I've done. I kind of have, like, the makings of a career path, but I don't really have a career path. I can support myself, and I don't rely on anyone else for support. That I'm proud of. That I've accomplished that in a world where a lot of people are unemployed, relying on the state or on other people to support them. I am proud of that, but not really the superficial aspects of it. But it is superficial on a lot of levels, and frustrating.
I totally get it. So, Nick, I'm going to switch gears a little bit here.
Switch gears, do it.
So, tell me, since you started porn and became Nick Sterling, are there things that you were able to accomplish that you think you weren't able to if you hadn't become Nick Sterling?
Oh, shit. Were there things that I've accomplished since I became Nick Sterling that I didn't think I could accomplish if I hadn't become Nick Sterling? But how would I have ever known if I hadn't become Nick Sterling?
Oh, say you became this man, this porn star, this famous
Persona.
guy. Yeah.
Just known to porn.
Do you think you wouldn't have something in your life had you not become Nick Sterling?
I hate hypotheticals. Can you ask me something else?
Of course I can.
Okay, ask me something else.
So we touched on this earlier. You were mentioning some not so fun comments when you were webcamming. How do you deal with some of the negativity, or have you come across anything that you just really don't like that's out there about you?
How do I deal with the haters? I ignore them. I did webcamming for a year and a half for Randy Blue, and I did it diligently to try and help, you know, my own, you know, self-image, my own personal business, the business of Randy Blue. But it was very frustrating. People being rude to you, insulting you, calling you fat, etc., etc. But beyond that, there are inevitably going to be people that are critical. I just retreat into myself generally. Social media is important to promoting yourself, and I ignored it for a long time because I was angered and I was frustrated so much by this public that was so critical and so mean and so hurtful. It's like, fuck you. I don't need to do this superficial public persona. And I stopped doing Randy Blue, and I took a break for almost a whole year before I started doing Falcon again. And before I came around to the conclusion that they really were part and parcel of the whole genie gig, as our dearly beloved and missed Robin Williams would say. They are tied together. You can't separate the two. You know, the image that you create, that you send forth, that you put out there is perceived by other people, and their reactions are going to be multitudinous. And the best thing to do is just ignore them. The most gratifying thing I've done in response to that is I'm going to shamelessly plug Instigator magazine right now, which is a magazine that I'm a associate editor for, editor-at-large on the East Coast, and I've written a few articles. My image was on the cover this past issue, which was very cool. Aaron Cobbett of New York was the photographer. But writing articles and speaking my mind and putting, you know, my thoughts and my heart and my feelings about all of it out there, and my positivity about the things that I do and how I do them and why I do them, is the best and only response I can really have to it, besides retreating and ignoring it.
That's pretty exciting, having a big voice to go on top of these other people that once you start acknowledging them, you give them power. So to just ignore them and let them go away, and you give yours, that's pretty awesome that you could do that.
It's a privilege, and I feel very lucky to have it.
So Nick, tell me, you've been in the sex industry for a long time. What aspects of it
Are you calling me old?
I'm not calling you old. I'm calling you seasoned. What parts of it make you happy? You get to have sex with really hot dudes. You get to do really fun things. Like, what makes you want to keep doing this? What puts that smile on your face about it?
Having sex with hot guys for lots of money and, getting to brag about it? No. Getting to travel and spend time with people that I like and care about. Having new experiences with people that I care about and getting to share those experiences with other people. Despite escorting being enormously frustrating, last year I got to travel to Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, and Ibiza. All be them brief trips in and of themselves. It was still pretty cool. And I don't know, the hope that, the writing that I do for the magazine and, the times that I get to speak about these kind of things, that these little tidbits, these little times that I do get to, give a voice, to give expression, do kind of reach people, the kind of people that I was when I was 18 and feeling very alone in a college dorm room in Vermont by myself, just out of the closet, having no, hope or direction or desire to fulfill any career. The hope that, these things, these words, these whatever, will reach people that were in the same kind of place that I was and help them have a slightly easier time than I had. It sounds super corny.
No, it doesn't. It sounds wonderful.
I don't know.
I love it. So, speaking of sexy and these guys that you have to have...
You wanted lighthearted. That wasn't lighthearted. I'm sorry. I don't do lighthearted. I'm very dense. A dense individual.
You're the densest porn star I've ever met.
I'm your favorite mess and you're mine.
You are my favorite mess. So I do actually want to, I know you have, a wide variety of tastes in men, and it's exciting because not your everyday porn star likes these kinds of guys. I want to hear about it.
What kind of guys I like?
Yeah. I want to hear what Nick Sterling really likes when he's not on set.
There are a few things that I like. I like youth and energy. People that haven't been utterly, affected, jaded, and demolished by the world they live in, which is inevitable after several decades of living in this world. I like a sense of humor. I like a strong will. I like a person that is unafraid to have experiences. Terrible and terrifying and wonderful and exciting and crazy experiences, and do the things that most people are afraid to do, and learn the things that those experiences bring. Exceptional experiences, exceptional times, exceptional people. The road less traveled, if you wanted a cliche, but people that do things differently and aren't afraid to do them their own way.
You like to march to the beat of your own drum. You want to have a partner in crime to do these things.
I do. It's
Have you found this kind of partner?
I feel like Doctor Who sometimes. Do you watch Doctor Who? Do you science fiction? You science fiction? A little bit. But the Doctor constantly has a new companion. And the Doctor is also constantly, changing skins, changing flesh. He's, dies and what's the word? He's, reincarnated? It's not reincarnated.
Resurrected?
Resurrected.
Reanimated?
I'm blanking for you.
Obviously, I don't watch Doctor Who.
He, dies and regenerates. his old body when he dies, burns up in a fiery glory, ball of light, and fire shoots out of his arms and legs and head, and like a crazy Blair Witch scary fire doll, and a new head pops on as a different person. And it's the same TARDIS but has different skins, and the same companion is totally freaked out because now the Doctor has a different face. But eventually that companion will change and he'll find a new companion. I've had a few companions. I had one that I thought was going to be the only one, but I feel that idea that there is meant to be one and only one companion for any one given person is really harmful to almost every single person on the planet. And I've had a few companions. I hope to have lots of friends and lots of companions. But I also feel like the Doctor. Like, I feel that, every time something kind of really significant and dramatic happens in my life, I'm a new person. And so that, companion who's been with me is suddenly faced with a new person, has to deal with a new person. And then that person leaves and you find a new companion. It's, life is like a science fiction series. You never know what you're gonna get.
So this is my favorite part of any interview that me and Steve have given. This is rapid fire. I'm gonna give you 5 question statements. The first thing that pops into your head, just finish the thought.
Hit me.
Sex is.
Dangerous.
Fame is.
Dangerous.
Happiness is.
Elusive.
Yes, in 10 years, I will be.
Rich or dead.
The most important thing in life is.
This isn't as rapid as you wanted it, is it?
I like this too.
You could totally deep think on it.
The most important thing.
The most important thing in life
Deep
to you.
think, deep thought. That was a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was the name of the computer, Deep Thought. The most important thing. 42.
Why 42?
The answer is 42. What's the question?
I shall design a computer that shall, come up with the ultimate question, and when you know the ultimate question, you shall understand the answer.
Nick Sterling, it's been absolutely wonderful.
I love you, Nick Fox.
You're absolutely ridiculous, and I enjoy every minute I have with you on set and off set.
Glad to be here.
So, thanks for being with us.